My girlfriend told me she was with a friend, but that friend was with me picking out an engagement ring. How do I confront my girlfriend about her lie? God, this is a doozy. I swear my life feels like a movie right now. I, 28 male, am planning on proposing to my girlfriend of 3 years, 26 female. Now, I suck at picking out jewelry. I'm the type of guy that doesn't see a problem with heart-shaped jewelry. Like, seriously, why is it considered so ugly? So every time I want to buy something for my girl, I usually consult one of our mutual friends. My girl's best friends are all friends with me as well, and we all get along well. So asking them for help picking out jewelry is just something I'm used to. When it came time to pick out a ring, I consulted my girlfriend's best friend Justine. Fake name. Justine and I are quite close, and she knows my girlfriend better than anyone, including me. So when my girlfriend went out to visit her sister and baby nephew, I invited Justine over to the house to help pick out a ring. Justine and I looked through a few catalogs, but decided that it was a dead end and it would be better to go to professionals at a jewelry store. However, I didn't know when my girlfriend would be coming home, so Justine and I thought of a clever text to gauge how much time we had. We asked her when she'd be coming home, as I was ordering takeout and wanted to know when to tell them to have the food ready by. She responded by saying that it would be a few hours. She just met up with Justine to go shopping. Now, obviously, this took me by surprise, since Justine was standing inside my house. I showed Justine the text, and she looked as confused as I was. It isn't out of the ordinary for my girlfriend to meet up with people out of the blue like that for shopping, lunch, etc. She's a very spontaneous person and loves making plans on the fly, so ordinarily, I would have believed this text in a heartbeat. However, obviously this had to be a lie. When she came home, she acted completely normal, and I played along, but it's really hard to act like everything's fine. We got takeout, ate together, and cuddled on the couch after. So far, she's caught on a little that something's upsetting me, but I just can't tell her what. Looking at her kills me. I don't know what to do. My girlfriend and I have zero trust issues, and we tell each other everything, so this lie is killing me. I want to ask her about it so bad, but if I tell her I knew that she was lying, I'd have to explain why, and I really don't want to do that. What do I do? I know she lied to me, but I don't know how to confront her about it. Should I just forget it? This won't stop gnawing at me. Please help. In the comments, Skincare Junkie 13 says, I know you say you can't tell her why you know, but I honestly think you should. You don't want this to bug you forever and propose to a girl that could potentially be hiding something. Just say that you were hanging out with Justine because you needed help with a gift, so you know she wasn't with her, and see what she says. Trust and communication is important, and it would suck to know that you proposed to a girl who could be doing you wrong, but also just as bad to sit there and let that lie eat you alive. You could just not bring up the proposal and simply say that we were picking out some jewelry. You don't have to blow the whole wad. Maybe she was getting something for you. Just tell her and ask her what's up. Yeah, just say that you were picking something out for her birthday, or that you were organizing a romantic present and that the friend was helping you. However, if she presses, I would admit that you were looking for a ring. It would be sad to ruin the surprise, but honesty is key. Best of luck. Doesn't have to be the ring you were shopping for. You can tell her that you asked Justine for her input on a gift for you, and she was standing next to you when the text came in. However, what do you think the chances are that Justine has not already tipped her off that you know that she lied and has given her time to prep a story? I don't know. If I was Justine and any of my friends pulled this shit, I would side with the boyfriend immediately. There is no way I would condone this behavior to the point of tipping her off before the boyfriend has a chance to talk it through. My faith in people is probably too high though. Interesting one. I'm gonna side with, I think Justine wouldn't tip her off, and that I'd like to believe in the best in people, and that Justine was not acting when she was like, oh, this is so surprising. What the hell? What does she mean by that? Oh, very odd. I'd like to think that Justine is not going to help her prep a story in which she covers up why she said it was Justine. I do think that OP should confront her about this in the way that the comments have said, like, yeah, bring it up and ask, oh, I was with Justine getting you a nice present, so I don't know how you could have been with Justine. What's going on there? It's a little bit weird, isn't it? I think that's a good way to go about it, but man, it's a bit fishy, this whole situation, isn't it? And now, on to the update. So I decided to confront my girlfriend. I thought about using some of the lies that people suggested, but they just wouldn't make sense. To say I ran into Justine somewhere, well, I told my girl that I had to stay home and do stuff around the house, and that's why I couldn't go with her to see my sister-in-law. To say Justine was helping me pick out jewelry, it doesn't make sense for her to come all the way to our house to help me pick out a piece of jewelry unless it was a serious piece of jewelry, like an engagement ring. If I just wanted to get her a piece of jewelry as a gift, I'd ask her friends for suggestions or ask them to send me pictures of jewelry she might like. It all happens over text. None of the excuses made sense, so I decided to be honest. I basically just said that I knew that we'd been thinking about marriage, and she probably knew that a proposal was coming soon. So I invited Justine over to help me find her the perfect ring, and that just happened to be the day that she said she was going to see her, so what's the deal? She immediately started grinning like an idiot and prodding me about proposing and the ring, but then we got back onto the topic of where she was, and she confessed to what she was really doing. No, she wasn't cheating, and no, she wasn't picking out a ring for me. The amount of times that was commented was crazy. So, some people are dog people, and some people are cat people. Well, me, I'm a snake person. I grew up with snakes my whole life, but I never felt that I was able to get one because my girlfriend has always been uneasy about living with a snake, which I completely respected. Also, the process of buying and raising a snake is very different than that of buying and raising a cat or dog. It's quite complicated. So you could imagine my surprise when my girlfriend showed me a picture of her holding the cutest Kenyan sand boa that I have ever seen. Needless to say, my girlfriend was going to surprise me with a snake. We're picking her up next week. I definitely did not expect this, and I feel bad for ruining the surprise, but oh well, life is good. Sorry if this isn't the ending that you guys wanted or expected. Just a snake. Thanks for reading. In the comments, Quackslike says, rattled over nothing. Dramatic people are gonna have a hissy fit. People really need to shed themselves of all of these ridiculous preconceived notions. You can't let negative thoughts slither in. Red says, I'm glad to see honesty and communication triumphed. Congrats on your future engagement, your new pet, and a happy resolution. Seriously, I love that in this relationship filled with honesty and communication, the only secrets they keep from each other are surprises to make the other person happy. And even then, they get found out super quickly because they both are in touch with each other's lives and friends. Well done, you two. I love how you both were trying to surprise each other, and both surprises were ruined in the sweetest way. I sold all my snake habitats to buy you this ring, but oh no, you sold all your ring fingers to buy me a snake. What? What a doozy of a story, eh? What a bloody knee slapper that one was. Another contender for most Aussie story out there. You guys got any more of them snake puns down in the comments? Glad the story went the way that it did, and things worked out because there are so many universes and similar stories like this where the girlfriend is actually cheating in a situation like this, and that she doesn't have a genuinely good excuse as to what she was doing when said friend was with her, but said friend was with you. So thank you for the positive resolution, OP. This was a needle in a haystack kind of story. You don't see them too often, and it's lovely to see, but for me, what the hell, a snake? I don't think I have the ability to live with a snake like that. I'm glad you two can, and that she can overcome those fears and give you such an amazing present. You'll love to see it. Thank you for the story. Thank you for the update, OP. Unexposed is by user ThrowRAHugF, and it's titled, My 27 male, girlfriend 22 female, of a year, slept with another guy while we were taking it slow, a month into dating me. So I've been with this girl that I'll call Jess for close to a year now. Since specifics matter here, We started dating around last Thanksgiving, but it was only about a month later when we said we were in an official relationship. I really liked this girl from the get-go, and we've gotten very close since then, and we're actually planning on moving in together soon. Here's a problem. Recently, Jess and I ran into a guy at a small get-together with mutual friends. They exchanged a weird look like there was something between them, but I didn't think too much of it at the time. During the party, something came up about the place Jess went to for a date. The time was clear since it was a Christmas market in my town, and again, I thought something was off about the guy. Well, later that night, I actually get a text from him. He got my number from one of the mutual friends, but said, "Hey, I don't know you, but I thought you should know that Jess and I hooked up right after Christmas." I confronted Jess about this, and I could tell that she tensed up right away. She got this sad look on her face, but confessed right away. She said she'd met this guy on Tinder and hooked up a couple of times, but stopped any contact before we became official. She said she wasn't sure we would get into a relationship at that time, but she still felt bad that I found out this way. She said she considered telling me, but was afraid that it would ruin things between us. I told her I needed some time to think and proceeded to get drunk that night and ignored her texts. The thing is, I feel very betrayed, and I'm really considering ending things. Sure, we weren't official when this happened, but we had already been on multiple dates at that time, and I thought it was pretty clear that we were moving towards a fully fledged relationship. On my side, I had no interest in pursuing other girls at that point because I only wanted to be with Jess. And on her side, she was definitely hinting at us evolving into a couple and strongly hinting at exclusivity. The other part that kills me is that during this early stage, Jess specifically said she wanted to take things slow physically until we knew each other better. But during this same time, she hooks up with a guy she barely knew from Tinder? When I asked her about this, she said it's different because she took it slowly with me, specifically because she thought that we would get into a relationship, but it was somehow different with a casual hookup. That logic makes zero sense to me. I don't really want to talk about this with my friends because I think they'd hate Jess if we ended up staying together, but I'd like to hear other opinions on here. Would you stay in a relationship like this if things were going well, but the beginning was so shady? In the comments, Ancient Party says, "All other things aside, it does make sense for me to take things slow with someone that I'm pursuing a relationship, but it doesn't matter for casual sex/flings. I am thoroughly not into dating multiple people though." May Sangria 20 says, "Totally agree with the first part. Also, not that it matters here, but it's a common thing. While I never talk to more than one person at a time, I know there's plenty of people, men and women, who do. To them, if it's not an official relationship, it's not a problem or issue. For me, I literally can't do it because that's just not who I am. I would probably dump her. Sure, there was no true exclusivity talk, but I'd be upset finding out that I had to wait because I'm such a great catch that sex can be denied because of it, yet some rando on Tinder can hook up right off the bat. Look, I get it. Her body, her rules. She can sleep with everyone or no one. The point is, why the hell do people use these hints about wanting to have a relationship but need to try out a few more models to make sure? I mean, it really feels like being strung along. We need to take it slow, which should be code for, I don't want to rush this and get hurt, not take it slow with you, but not him. This is how I would personally view it. So once you decide you could get hurt in a relationship, you decide to take it slow, but in the meantime, if you know a guy is trash and you have no future with him, why not get some dick? Yeah, because sleeping with losers over genuine catches is the way to find a meaningful and lasting relationship. I'm trying not to get hurt, so let's go out of our way to do something that could hurt the other party and I know isn't right because I chose to hide it. I can do this because it's my body, I can do what I want. This is how I read your post. Genuinely disrespectful what this girl did to OP, and she deserves to get treated like the oxymoronic trash that she is. Honestly, I'm on the comments side for this one. You guys were a month into dating, and there was talks of exclusivity, and the idea of exclusivity was brought up. I think you need to learn from this to Put strict boundaries around the exclusivity if that is what you want. And I'm not blaming you for this happening. I think it's a deal breaker personally, and that him reaching out to you in this regard is kind of a lifesaver. I won't lie. It saves you future time wasted dating someone that has slept with someone else while she was dating you. Doesn't matter if it was a month into dating you. If you guys are dating and that's a clear boundary for you, I think it's unacceptable. I agree. I think it is genuinely disrespectful what she did to you, and I'd be curious to know if the shoe were on the other foot, how she would feel about that. I think you were right to be feeling betrayed, OP. You had already been on multiple dates, and you thought you were pretty clear that you were moving towards a fully fledged relationship. Most normal people will think, okay, it is pretty much exclusive and mutual at this point. We are not going to be sleeping with other people. I understand the her body, her choice thing, where she wants to take it slow with you, but she hooks up with this guy a few times. Yeah, that's gotta hurt. I get the logic. I understand where she's coming from. Again, her body, her choice. It's just odd logic, and I can definitely see how that would hurt. And now, onto the update. As the title says, I decided to break up with Jess. I kept going back and forth because I was worried that I was throwing away a great thing over something that happened in the past, but the problem is, I thought I really wouldn't be able to get past it. I can't help that what she did was really shitty. Yes, I know that technically she didn't cheat, but she knew that I wanted a real relationship and that we were potentially moving in that direction. But meanwhile, she expected me to plan and pay for interesting dates, court her, and prove that I was worthy of her, while she happily hooked up with randos who basically did nothing but show an interest in fucking. Screw that. In a follow-up conversation, it also came up that her friends sort of guided her to act like this. That she should basically allow herself to have fun and to keep her casual options open, but with me, to make me work for it. And show that I wasn't just looking for sex, but was capable of being a committed partner. The whole thing just seemed so manipulative and ugly. And these were also mutual friends who I considered to be nice girls, and now my friends as well. Now I never want to see any of those pieces of shit ever again. Anyway, I know this is starting to sound like a bit of a rant, but I felt pretty pissed off and basically called it quits. The actual breakup was actually quite unpleasant. No harsh words were exchanged, but Jess cried, and we kinda talked about some happy times. I guess that's the hardest part about this. Like, I don't think she's a bad girl, and maybe we could have had a nice future together like we did over the past few months, but in the end, I do think I made the right decision. I want to be with someone who treats me well from the get-go, not someone who manipulates me while playing games just so she can have her cake and eat it too. In the comments, quote, that she would basically allow herself to have fun and keep her casual options open. Yeah. This is a terrible strategy for dating, and posts like this prove why. Quote, in a follow-up conversation, it also came out that her friends sort of guided her to act like this. Either she was trying to pass the buck, or she is weak-willed and easily influenced by her friends. Neither one is a good look for a partner. I wish you luck moving forward. I hope she learns the lesson here and carries it into her next relationship. Moral of the story is, if you want to be with someone, ask for exclusivity explicitly. No confusion or hurt feelings then. Well, it seems like he did ask for exclusivity and she didn't want it. OP's mistake was in waiting around for her to make up her mind. Quote, the whole thing just seemed so manipulative and ugly. I want to be with someone who treats me well from the get-go. Spot on. You made the right decision. I would never tolerate being with someone who felt the need to use the technical excuse of we weren't official to play the field. It's complete bullshit and shows a complete lack of class and respect. Furthermore, someone who is so intent on dating multiple guys at the same time is likely someone that a lot of guys wouldn't consider for any sort of serious relationship. If they are so needy for attention that it takes multiple guys every few weeks to fill their social calendar, and they have to have an app to manage scheduling all of their dates, then that is not relationship material for most men. This could well have been avoided if she would have just been upfront about her intent to continue to see others. It shouldn't have been left up to assume that she wasn't. Of course, she knew he would probably dump her if she would have told him, so it's likely he would have had to have asked. While it may be acceptable in modern dating for women to be going through guys like potato chips, most guys that are looking for something serious are avoiding these types. It would be far simpler if the people were just honest up front about who they are, what they are planning on doing, and what they've been doing in the past. That way, both parties can make an informed decision quickly. If the guy doesn't want to go out with a woman that's dating multiple guys casually, or is into casual sex, or has a huge list of previous partners, then finding out early lets him avoid wasting any time on someone that isn't going to be a match. Similarly, the girl can avoid wasting time on someone that isn't a match for her. Josie Badcat says, "You also want to be with someone with enough confidence to make her own decisions and who lives her values, not her girlfriend's values." The blaming of the girlfriends is, to me anyway, another level of ugly. I'm sure they are just as awful, but good people don't let themselves get convinced to do shitty things. Yeah, hard one. And I mean like her saying, "Oh, the girlfriends convinced me to do it." Like, come on. At the end of the day, they told you something, they pushed you in a particular direction, but they didn't force you to do anything. You, ex-girlfriend, of your own volition, chose to take their advice and action it. Then you hid the fact that you were sleeping with someone else while in the process of dating someone that wanted to be with you seriously. That's not and shouldn't ever be okay. I think OP did the right thing by breaking it off with her. This was a huge breach of trust on her side, and I don't think she could ever win his trust back. I think you just break it off, learn from this, don't do that again, and be a better person going forward. Don't take bad advice from your friends either. Thank you for the story, OP, and thank you for the update. Anyway, guys, that's where I'm going to end today's episode. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.